Senator Francis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is for the government representative in the Senate. Senator Gold, the current government refuses to fully implement the Aboriginal and treaty rights of the Mi'kmaq in relation to fisheries. As a result, some have begun to develop and launch their own self-regulated fisheries. Most recently, following unsuccessful discussions with DFO over several months, Lennox Island First Nation announced it would start its own treaty fishery in Malpeque Bay on Saturday. The community agreed in good faith to follow rules applied to the commercial fisheries and put a max of 1,000 traps, which amounts to 0.53% out of 190,000 traps in this fishing area. Last week, when I spoke with Minister Murray and Parliamentary Secretary Callaway on this matter, I urged them to work with rather than against Lennox Island and other First Nations, and I emphasized that the current regime has systematically excluded us from the fishery and contributed to high rates of poverty and other disparities. I am deeply troubled by the lack of respect and understanding shown to date. Senator Gold, since DFO is in agreement that the treaty lobster fishery that will be launched by Lennox Island generates no conservation measures, is withholding less than 1,000 traps worth undermining the bonds of peace and friendship in Prince Edward Island.
Senator Gold.
Well, thank you for your question and for underlying what is an important issue, both for Indigenous communities and for other communities relying upon the fishery. The Government of Canada is apprised of this and hopes that the solution can be found to the mutual benefit of all.
Senator Francis, supplementary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Senator Gold, I do not have to tell you this matter is of the utmost importance to the Mi'kmaq and all islanders. I hope you'll convey this message as soon as possible. Like Chief Bernard of Lennox Island said earlier, if there's any conflict, the federal government will bear full responsibility. So let me ask you to raise this. If no relationship is more important than the one with Indigenous peoples and there is a true commitment to working on a nation-to-nation basis, why is the federal government continuing to prevent the Mi'kmaq from exercising their constitutionally protected rights? How many more decades will it take for Canada to uphold the rule of law, including the Constitution and UNDRIP, and at what cost to reconciliation?
Senator Gold.
Well, thank you again for your question. I certainly will communicate not simply your question, but the importance of your question and the passion with which you address it to the government. The government is committed to the relationship with Indigenous people, nation-to-nation basis. It has taken important steps, but they're only the beginning of steps. And there is a long history to deal with and unravel. And so rest assured that I will communicate this, Senator Francis, to the government with the deepest conviction that I can.
Senator White.